So there's this video making the rounds, and it's got a pretty huge claim that the U.S. just overthrew Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro. It's a really powerful story. But how exactly did they put that story together? That's what we're going to do here. We're going to break down the narrative from that video piece by piece.
Okay, so the video kicks off with some really pure, raw emotion. You hear this Venezuelan woman, she's talking to Telemundo, and she sounds completely overwhelmed. She says she's been waiting, quote, a long time for this moment.
So what is this big moment she's so thankful for? Well, according to the video, the answer is pretty simple and honestly explosive. The claim is that the United States just removed President Nicolás Maduro from power. Just like that. So the entire story really hinges on this one single startling announcement. And the way the video frames it is by immediately showing you two totally opposite reactions to the very same news. So the core narrative, it kind of boils down to this. First, you get President Trump announcing Maduro is out, and it's framed as this big win against socialism. Then, boom, you see these images of people celebrating in Venezuela. But that joy is immediately contrasted with a totally different scene. You've got protests and a lot of condemnation coming from the American left. And that right there, that's how the video sets up its central conflict. It's a picture of a world that's completely divided, right? Two totally different reactions to the exact same event. And this is how the video really drives home that disconnect visually. You know, on one side, you see street parties, people waving American flags, even chanting, "Thank you, Trump." And on the other side, you've got protesters, communist flags, and they're demanding that Maduro be freed. The video presents these as just two completely separate realities. And to really sharpen that contrast, the video uses this clip of a Venezuelan journalist, and she's speaking directly to American critics. Her plea is, wow, it's powerful. She says, "Don't let your hatred for Donald Trump lead you to defend the dictator of my country." And then, immediately after that emotional plea, the video presents the other side of the argument. It highlights a post from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And her take is basically, hold on a second, the motivation here isn't what you think it is. She says it's really all about oil and regime change. So all of this, it's building up to it's really the climax of the video's whole story. That pivotal announcement from President Trump himself. This is where, supposedly, the official plan for Venezuela gets laid out for everyone to see. Yeah, the video really presents this next moment as the undeniable proof. It's setting the stage for you to hear it directly from the president in his own words. And here it is, the core statement from that clip they use. President Trump says, and I'm quoting here, "We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition." I mean, that's about as direct and unambiguous as it gets, right? A clear declaration of U.S. administration. Okay, so let's break down the plan that's presented in that clip. It kicks off with temporary U.S. control. The stated goal, a safe and proper transition. The reason they give is to stop what happened over the last long period of years from happening again. And the ultimate aim, they say, is peace, liberty, and justice for the Venezuelan people. But what's the official reason for doing all this? Well, the video dives into two really conflicting explanations here. And it frames the central debate around one big question. What is the true motive behind this? And here are the two sides of the coin, at least according to the video. On one hand, you have the official rationale, which they attribute to Senator Marco Rubio. The argument is that Maduro is the head of a narco-terror organization. But then you have the skeptical view from Representative Ocasio-Cortez, which claims the real price here is Venezuela's oil, and she calls the whole thing full-blown imperialism. But here's the interesting thing. After laying out this entire dramatic narrative, the video doesn't actually give you a conclusion. Instead, the creator kind of just leaves the audience hanging with a series of really big unanswered questions. The first one they pose is a question you hear from critics on both the left and the right. Is this whole thing actually going to create an even bigger crisis? Could this action, which is supposed to solve one problem, just end up igniting a much larger, more dangerous one in the region? Next, the video turns the question inward, asking, with all the risks that are involved, does this move truly benefit the American people? It's really a question about what's best for the folks back home. And finally, the video leaves us with this last thought. It's a broader, almost philosophical question. It brings up a potential upside, this idea that, hey, if all the countries around us are doing better, does that mean we do better too?
It's a final thought that really leaves you to weigh the risks of an intervention against the possible rewards of a more stable hemisphere.